As a brand new agent, how do you choose the absolute best brokerage for you? Well, first, let me give you a disclaimer. So, as a brokerage owner, I have owned 5 brokerages over the past 7 years. Personally, I've recruited, it would not be an exaggeration to say I have personally recruited over 100 agents. Let me share with you, I think, the biggest mistake brand new agents make. The biggest mistake a brand new agent makes is they don't quite understand how this industry works. So they don't know that as a brand new agent, they do hold some cards, but not all the cards. So as a brand new agent, you really are going to be a little bit of a liability on the brokerage that you join. But no brokerage wants to turn away anybody, because the success stories are, well, everyone was a brand new agent at some point. And so their philosophy is if they can just get you to join the brokerage and you just hang on long enough, maybe by osmosis, maybe you'll just kind of figure it out, and then maybe you'll turn into a productive member of society. But very few brokerages actually see the grooming, the cultivating, the mentoring of a brand new real estate agent. Like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So you really need to investigate not just what the brokerage is telling you they're going to offer, but you want to know a couple of people. Hey, give me 3 or 4 of your agents that have joined you just this year. I would love to actually speak with them. So that would be with the pre-interview. I would actually want to reach out to a brokerage, and before saying I want to come hear about what you have, I would reach out to them and say, as a brand new agent, I would like to know from 3 or 4 of your other brand new agents that joined you this past year, what their experience was like. Would you share me their contact information? And if whoever you reached out to, the team leader or the owner, and if they're just saying, well, just come in and I'll show you, if they actually don't have like a thriving community of younger, newer agents, then I would stay far, far away from that brokerage. Second of all, I don't necessarily think that a big national franchise that promotes that they are the best place to equip new agents is any reason to join. It's not a reason not to join, but again, you want to go back to the proof is in the pudding. Because let's say nationally, the brand has a really good reputation for training new agents. That just means they paid someone on a corporate level to create some really good content. But that doesn't mean they're going to be someone who's going to be in the foxhole with you when you need to call them and say, I'm driving back to the office and I have to write up an offer. Who's going to help me? And so paying attention to what a national brand does or what a reputation is really dangerous, especially when it comes to on the local level. And so the second most important question, after having heard from a couple of other new agents what their experience was, is who is going to be my mentor? And if they don't actually have a mentor program, if they just say, well, as a community, we're all going to help nurture you, the answer is nobody. The answer is nobody's going to help nurture you, because it's going to become 7:30 p.m. on a Thursday night, and you just showed a client a home, and they want to go back and write up that offer, and you're like, the offer that I don't know how to write back yet. So you're going to be driving back, and I can tell you this happened to me. My very first offer that I had to write up, the client wanted to write it up, and we drove back, and I'm scrambling like crazy trying to figure someone out. Is anyone at the office to come help me write it up? And so you're going to want to have a very specific mentor. Now, the reason why some people don't want a mentor is because you have to give up a little bit more of your commission to help them. But let me just tell you, you don't actually get to have a commission to give up unless you have a good mentor. So 1, it's how many new agents are currently there and thriving. And 2 is who's going to be your mentor. So as a brokerage owner, I wasn't the mentor, but I was the person people were interviewing with. And so they would join the brokerage based on my encouragement, but then I wasn't actually the individual they worked with. Because I'm a good dude, I had good mentors, but there's a lot of brokerages that will have a mentor, but their mentor sells less homes than you want to sell your first year. As a brand new agent, these are not so much the questions that you should ask at a brokerage. This is the homework and due diligence you should do, maybe even before going in for an in-person interview. You see, brokerages are notorious for selling hope and promise, not actually following through on any product. That's why the attrition rate in this industry is 90%. You get that for every 10 agents that start, 9 fail out. And guess what? As a brokerage owner, they know that. So they're not really spending a lot of time and energy to help cultivate you. They're hoping to add you to the bullpen and that you're not going to be much of a distraction, so that if you do turn into a producer, then all of a sudden they get to celebrate you as the rookie of the year. But what you actually want, your first negotiation tactic you learn is how to negotiate with the brokerage you're going to join. And you do that by getting your intel. So you don't want to go in and meet with the brokerage owner or the managing broker. You want to email them and say, as a new agent, I would like to speak with 2 to 4 of the other new agents that you've onboarded this past year so I can hear about their success. If they don't have a handful of new agents to send your way to give you like a proof of product, then it's not a brokerage you want to join. Because the last thing you want to do is be the brand new fish to show up in a sea of old people who none of them actually know how to help you because they weren't new agents for 20 years. So let's say a brokerage says, yes, I have 2 to 4 individuals. I'd love for you to meet with them and talk with them. I would go more with the proof of those 2 to 4 new agents than I would even your experience with the brokerage owner. If they're saying, yeah, this is actually a place that's helping me thrive, yeah, I'm actually being able to create more business, then that is the brokerage to join. Questions like, what's your split, what's your cap, what's your designated broker? If you Google online, what are all the questions I'm supposed to ask a brokerage owner before I go in, that was probably written by some brokerage owner that actually knows the answers to it and wants those specific questions asked. The proof is in the pudding. Where there are younger agents, where there's a culture, where there's like a synergy, that's where you want to be. Second is who's going to be your mentor, right? Just because there's a great new agent coaching program doesn't mean that that person who's going to mentor you is going to have the time and energy to help serve you in what your needs are. They might be able to say, yeah, come in Tuesday at 2, I'm going to help you every day write your contracts. But you don't need help Tuesday at 2 p.m. writing a contract. You need help on some random Saturday when you just got your first buyer and they're like, let's go back to the office and write it up. And you're just so petrified because it's been beaten to you, don't lose their earnest money. You want to know that when you call a mentor, they're going to pick up that phone on a Saturday afternoon and walk you through it step by step. So if a brokerage is known, or maybe it's a national franchise and they're too well known for their training program, that might mean they have like one mentor for 15 to 20 agents, which tell you what, it means on top of them selling their own home, they're not going to pick up the phone on a Saturday afternoon to help you. Hope that helps.